Okay, good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining today. My name is Ed Coveney. I'm a technical sales consultant here at MGIS, and I'm joined today by Gareth Boys, our lead developer and creator of CADTransform. CADTransform will be the focus of this webinar. Just some housekeeping before we get going. We're not expecting a fire alarm in the office today, so if that does go off, we will have to end the webinar and reschedule or send out a recording. There will be a Q&A at the end of the webinar, but feel free to write your questions at any point during the webinar. We'll just get to them at the end and we will answer as many as we can as long as we've got time. So very briefly, the agenda, I'm going to introduce MGIS. And then I'm going to hand over to Gareth, who will introduce CADTransform. He will explain what CADTransform does and what it overcomes. And then we're going to focus on some of the new features that have been developed, particularly the vector tile layers and also visualizing text points. We'll then have a brief summary at the end, and then we'll get to that Q&A as well. So to start with, who are MGIS? We are an independent geospatial consultancy, and we specialize in helping organizations make better decisions using geospatial data. Because we are independent, we focus on what genuinely works best for each individual client. We do this by combining GIS software, mobile apps, high accuracy GPS, and third-party data such as Ordnance Survey, all with the aim of improving all aspects of GIS workflows. This means that there can be means it can go from asset location and mobile GIS data capture all the way up to asset insight and asset analysis. Ultimately, this gives our clients better visibility of their assets and greater confidence in their decision making. We are independent, but we also do work closely with a range of key partners to ensure our clients can make the most of the best geospatial technology available to them. When it comes to GIS platforms, that means we work closely with Esri UK and Esri Inc. and their ArcGIS platform. Now, ArcGIS platform is obviously a global leader in GIS, and we are also very proud to say that we are a gold member of the Partner Network program as well. Today, we're going to be focusing on ArcGIS Pro, Esri's professional desktop GIS application. And that's solely down to the fact that CADTransform is an ArcGIS Pro add-in, and Gareth will obviously go into that in more detail in a second. So I'm going to pass over to Gareth, and he's going to introduce CADTransform.
Thanks, Ed. CADTransform. CADTransform is a Python toolbox add-in that we have developed for ArcGIS Pro. And we've developed it to harness the powerful CAD to GIS conversion tools already available in ArcGIS Pro. It goes without saying that viewing CAD drawings is easy in ArcGIS Pro. All you need to do is add a drawing by dragging it from the catalogue pane onto the map. But if you want to do anything more with that data, then you do need to have a bit of experience with ArcGIS Pro. So we at MGIS want to make importing CAD drawings into GIS as easy as possible for CAD professionals who are often thrown into the deep end and expected to swim with GIS with minimal training. In this webinar, we're going to be using CADTransform to convert a simple CAD drawing and then publish it to a vector tile layer in ArcGIS Pro. For this demo, we're going to be converting a simple CAD drawing of the car park outside of MGIS's offices here at Brunswick Dock in Liverpool. The drawing, created in AutoCAD, has a range of polygon, polyline, and block insert objects in different layers, and it includes some text and end text. In this video, you can see me opening CADTransform from the ribbon bar. And then we add a file, a CAD drawing from the catalogue pane into the file box in the toolbox. We go through, we want to publish this as a geodatabase, and then we choose the CAD layers that we want to include in our import. So here we are excluding signs and trees. We also want to select our fields that we're going to handle, and we're going to import the handle of the AutoCAD objects along in the import. And we click the run button and set it on its way. Once the tool has finished, then you can see that the CAD layers have been added as a single GIS layer in the web map, in the ArcGIS Pro map. And the symbology has been split out according to layer, color, and line type. But sometimes we want to import each CAD layer as a corresponding GIS layer. Before I demonstrate splitting out the CAD layers, I want to compare layer filtering in ArcGIS Pro and CADTransform. So in ArcGIS Pro, there's quite a convoluted process of adding filtering conditions when exporting from a CAD drawing into a geodatabase. Meanwhile, in CADTransform, the user only needs to click the checkboxes against a list of layers available in the CAD drawing. So splitting out. By default, ArcGIS Pro and CADTransform import all objects in a CAD subtype, i.e. polyline or text point or polygon, into a single GIS layer in the map and in the geodatabase. But as mentioned before, sometimes we want to import CAD layers into a corresponding GIS layer. In fact, it was this requirement which was the original driver for us developing CADTransform. To perform this task, we check the split the CAD object by layer option in the toolbox before running the tool. When the tool runs, the layers are split out and are individually styled and added to a layer group. We believe this is an incredibly useful feature that will enable you to isolate different types of asset from your CAD drawings. But we also find it useful for exploring drawings and performing quality control. So in this demo, I have already run the tool and checked the split the CAD object by layer. As you can see, in the content pane, the layers have been added to a group layer. And I want to show you a very useful feature in ArcGIS Pro for inspecting individual layers. You select the group layer in the content pane, and then you go up to the ribbon bar and you change the group type to radio. Now all the layers can be selected one by radio buttons as opposed to checkboxes. This is great for going through a drawing and inspecting individual layers. Another powerful feature in CADTransform is how it handles the conversion of text. The default way to import text using built-in tools in ArcGIS Pro is to import the text as an annotation layer. Annotation layers are great for replication of text in CAD drawings because the text is fixed in size relative to the CAD drawing. However, the downside is that annotations cannot be shared to ArcGIS Online, either as a feature layer or as a vector tile layer. So the fallback option in ArcGIS Pro is to import the text as a text point. However, ArcGIS Pro displays a generic symbol with the label turned off by default. You have to go into the content pane and turn the label on. And even when the label is turned on, the text is not colored as it is in the CAD drawing. CADTransform fixes this. When you import text points in CADTransform, the generic symbol is hidden, the label is turned on by default, and the label text is colored as it was in the CAD drawing. Now, moving on to vector tile layers. As a way of introduction, vector tile layers are a special type of layer used in ArcGIS Online web maps. They're used for fast map display and visualization, but it's worth pointing out they're unsuitable for queries or spatial analysis, and they're unsuitable for storing attribute information. What's wrong with feature layers? In CAD drawings, CAD geometry is often, a lot of the CAD geometry is just for visual context. So a lot of it is the base map, there's dimensioning, there's call out, text boxes, and a whole piece of other information that's not directly related to the assets in that CAD drawing. Consequently, feature analysis and query is not always required on that CAD geometry. Therefore, feature layers in ArcGIS Online are often inefficient and appropriate. They've been optimized for analysis, not for visualization. And consequently, they're quite expensive with regards to ArcGIS Online credit consumption. On the other hand, vector tile layers are pre-optimized to focus on the geometry, and they provide fast visualization at every zoom level. And consequently, there's a reduced ArcGIS Online storage and credit usage. Vector tile layers also overcome some of the limitations of feature layers. In text point feature layers, labels on the feature layers are not rotated in ArcGIS Online like they are in ArcGIS Pro. Therefore, by importing labels and the vector tile layer, those labels are rotated. So your text is rotated in your CAD drawing. This is great when labels on pipes and cables need to be orientated with the pipe to understand the drawing. Consequently, vector tile layers are perfect for base maps and importing site maps into ArcGIS Online web maps. It's worth mentioning at this point about tiling schemes. Vector tile layers are always compiled against a defined tiling scheme. And this tiling scheme definition consists of both the spatial reference of the web map and the zoom levels of that web map. Vector tile layers created for a particular tiling scheme are not compatible with base maps created in a different tiling scheme. And it's important to understand which tiling scheme layers have been created with. If you're using the Esri global base maps, these are being created in a standardized ArcGIS Online Bing Google Maps tiling scheme that uses the Web Mercator spatial reference. However, if you're using a local national set of base maps, for example, the Esri GB Great Britain base maps, then you need to use your national coordinate reference systems tiling scheme, for example, British National Grid. Both of these tiling schemes are available by default in CADTransform. If there's any webinar attendees who are using a different tiling scheme that you would like to see in CADTransform, then please put your questions in the Q&A and just say, we would like to see a particular tiling scheme. So, quick demonstration. In this demo, we're going to load a CAD drawing like we did before into ArcGIS Pro using CADTransform. And this time we're going to select the Publish CAD Object to Vector Tile Layer button. We're going to choose the layers to import, and we're going to specify that this tiling scheme we're going to use will be Web Mercator. It's worth pointing out that for the Publish to Vector Tile layer to work, we need to save the ArcGIS Pro project. And rather than save it automatically, we ask for your permission to save the project by you checking the Save ArcGIS Pro Project button in the checkbox in the toolbox. We run the tool, it performs the transform, and it uploads to ArcGIS Online. We're now going to repeat the process again, this time with our text points. Again, saving the ArcGIS Pro project and publishing to vector tile layer. And at the same time, specifying that the tiling scheme shall be Web Mercator. And we click Run and publish the text points into ArcGIS Online. once the run has been completed, then we can see those vector tile layers and the corresponding vector tile packages in ArcGIS Online. Just wait a few seconds for the tool to run. So here we go in the content pane in ArcGIS Online. There are the vector tile layers. And we're going to create a web map. And we're going to change the base map to a suitable global ArcGIS on Esri base map. In this case, we're going to use light grey canvas. And then we're going to add the vector tile layers that we've just published to ArcGIS Online. Once they've loaded, you just need to change the zoom scale just to load them up in the web map. And it's worth noting that the text labels are a constant size. So as you zoom out, you need to adjust the visibility range of that layer in your drawing. So as you zoom out, labels do not become overwhelming. And there we go. We have created our first web map with vector tile layers. And this vector tile layer is now suitable for saving and being used as a base map in its own right. Just a quick aside on the vector tile style editor. In the vector tile layer preview item page, there's the option on the right hand side to edit in the vector tile style editor. These different vector tile styles enable you to have the same geometry, the same data, but viewing it differently depending on the circumstances. For example, you could have a different color scheme, you could have a black and white, you could have a vector tile layer that's suitable for use on a dark web map. So here we go. We open the vector tile style editor, and then we can adjust the color scheme and styling scheme for each of the layers in that vector tile layer. As I said, great for having different background maps in dark and light. Also worth mentioning that alongside the vector tile layer, CADTransform creates a vector tile package in ArcGIS Online. And this vector tile package can be downloaded into ArcGIS Pro for use offline. I hope that we've been able to demonstrate today the functions of CADTransform and how the tool can be used to load CAD drawings direct to vector tile layers in ArcGIS Online. Back to Ed.
Okay, thanks very much, Gareth. I'm just going to wrap up then quite quickly. We have here in this slide a QR code that will take you to our website where you can fill out some information and download CADTransform. You will be able to have a 14-day free trial. So if you've got your own workflows in mind that you want to see if CADTransform will help and help prove some efficiencies and time savings, then by all means download it, use it for 14 days and see if it works for your organization. In terms of pricing, there will be a single license price on the website, but we do recommend that you come to MGIS directly at sales@mgis.co.uk and we can give you the best pricing possible, because there's different licensing for a single user versus organization with multiple licenses. So the best way to do that is just to reach out to us directly. There will be a 10% off both licensing structures until the 24th of April. So you have a month. So that gives you, even if you use it for free for 2 weeks, it still gives you 2 weeks there after that to make a decision if you would like to purchase. And you get 10% off. More details on that will be in a follow-up email that comes along with the recording of this webinar. But again, any queries, please reach out to us. It should also be noted that CADTransform has been developed to be a generic tool that can help multiple different people in different organizations and different workflows. But we do have more bespoke ETL tools, so that's extract, transform, and load, designed at batch migration from CAD to GIS or BIM to GIS. And we do have other skills and other products that accompany the CADTransform in this ETL service. So if you have watched the webinar, I think, oh, maybe this could be for us, there's some questions you'd like about how it could work for your organization. Just because it hasn't been covered in this webinar doesn't mean that MGIS isn't capable of helping. So the best way to do it is to reach out to us at the sales@mgis.com. We'll have a chat where we can talk about your specific organizational needs. And now I'm going to, very last thing to say is just to give us a bit of a roadmap of where MGIS is over the next couple of months, just in case you happen to be at Esri UK annual conference on the 12th of May. We will be there as a stand. We'll also be at Geobusiness in June, and there's plenty of other activity we have between now and the sort of mid-June period. One other thing to add of note is the next webinar that we have running in about a month's time. That will be on OS data, and in particular NGD data, OS's latest tranche of data products. And we'll be focusing on how to gather and gain insight and leverage out of that particular data set. So if that sounds of interest, please use the QR code, sign up to that one as well in a month's time. Yes, we're going to go on to the questions now. So just give me a little bit of time to switch over, and I will pull up some questions from the Q&A. So we already have quite a few questions, and obviously we're going to stay online for a little bit longer, so please feel free to type one out as we answer some of these. The first one is regarding CADTransform and how it deals with blocks. So Gareth, do you want to just explain how the add-in works with blocks?
Yeah, sure. In our demonstration today, we had a number of features that were in the CAD drawing as block inserts. Block inserts are used to represent, point features such as trees, signs, and other sort of discrete objects. The ArcGIS Pro built-in tools that we leverage in CADTransform automatically convert the polylines in those block inserts when you add polylines into ArcGIS Pro. So when you use CADTransform, the performance of CADTransform is identical to the behavior of the built-in tools in ArcGIS Pro. And so, yes, those block inserts are inserted. The alternative way to import block inserts is to add it as a point, and the information is represented in ArcGIS Pro as a point object, but you lose all that polyline detail. It's up to you to then go into the symbology and select an appropriate symbol to represent that block insert. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Thanks, Gareth. The next one up is regarding publishing to hosted feature layers rather than vector tile packages. We didn't cover that today, but yes,
yeah. Yeah, sure. We focused on vector tile layers this time, but in CADTransform, it's just as easy to publish directly to an ArcGIS Online feature layer. With that feature layer, as well as the geometry, you get all the attribute information. So if that's important for you to have in your ArcGIS On feature layer, for example, the source drawing, the geometry type, the color, the line type, all that attribute information is stored alongside the CAD object in ArcGIS Online.
Worth also saying there as well, that's one of the advantages of splitting by layers, is that you, even within the same CAD drawing, there may be some layers that you wish to publish as a vector tile package, and some layers that you may wish to publish as a hosted feature layer. So you've got the choice as well. Third question that has come up is about how vector tile packages work offline, and specifically, can they work offline in field maps?
You can, so vector tile packages you can create an offline map package, and that can be side loaded into field maps to be used offline. So yes, good point.
Yeah, that's an advantage over sort of a WMS feed or something like that.
That way, if you're working offline or you're working with limited bandwidth, it's a good place to use.
Yeah. The next question is just someone asking if this webinar will be accessible to rewatch after the event, and the answer to that is yes. We will send out an email to all those who have attended with a link to the webinar, which will be on our YouTube page. So you can use that email, or you can just go straight to MGIS on YouTube, and you can rewatch that or send it to anybody else that you feel could benefit from watching the webinar. I think that's all we have for now, and I think that is bringing us up to past. So yes, please reach out if anything has been of interest. And yes, thank you very much for your time, Gareth, and we'll say goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.